What did you think when you realized there was a connection to Port St. Lucie?
Well, I think like many people, we were at first in shock and then resolved to take action and do what we can. And as being the safest large city in Florida, I think we have a special responsibility and obligation. And of course, our police department is working hand in hand with the FBI to make sure if the roots of this hateful act extend into our community, we rip them out.
Is there anything that you can share with us that you've been learning from authorities?
I think that this is a FBI-run investigation, and they're going to continue to disseminate the information right out of the Orlando area. So we're not going to be able to give you breaking news. I think that's going to continue to come from the FBI field agent.
Mayor, your office, your city had put out a statement some hours ago now, very moving, and it talked about this balance we need to have as a community. So much of what will be going on in the Treasure Coast and Orlando and really across this country is once again finding that balance between aggressive investigation, between awareness and vigilance, but not fear and hatred that can spin out from things like this. Talk about the message you'll be trying to convey to the citizens of Port St. Lucie in the coming days and weeks, both from a protection point of view and from a sensibility point of view.
So I think at first, and you really hit the nail on the head, but first we have to be there to mourn for those who have been lost. Then we have to be there for the survivors to make sure that they can recover as quickly as possible. Then we have to be there with Orlando and Orange County. And then, as you've correctly pointed out, we have to realize that this was not an Orlando event or a Florida event, or because the shooter resided in our community here, a Port St. Lucie event. This is a national tragedy, and we all have to be vigilant. But at the same time, you can't see that vigilance cross the line, or you can't tip into fear-based discrimination and hate. We have to do what's right for all people. We can, while we remain vigilant and fight for our way of life, we have to make sure we don't take away the freedoms that make us who we are.
Mayor, speak to the vigilance part of that equation. I'm sure you've had at least early talks with your police department, your public safety first responders. Talk about that. I talked with some law enforcement experts in Palm Beach County, said we, of course, will be much aware. We'll push more resources to bigger events, especially be mindful of any gay pride events that may be going on in the region. It's LGBT Pride Month across the nation, and also be vigilant around Islamic centers as well. Speak to that balance in your discussions to the degree you can with law enforcement in your community.
Well, I think this is happening at the same time that there are other concerns, and I think that we have to be vigilant not just for one population or one constituency. I think that we have to be vigilant against attacks on the American way of life. And that obviously is a big, difficult thing to do all at once. And that's why it takes all of us. And we go back to that balance you talked about, because we have to be vigilant. We have to be prepared to call 911 as citizens if we see something of concern. But at the same time, you can't just start hating certain people or thinking that it can only happen to certain people. I think that we'll find that there were a lot of college students and a lot of people of all stripes in Orlando that were harmed by this, and certainly it reaches everywhere.
Indeed it does. Mayor Gregory Oravec, thank you very much for your time today. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you.